guys. Part 2 of the Sacconejolys situation. Punishment used to for a kid who was spilling poop in its bed, kind of thing. And here we go. I've got a real life example to give because I did some volunteering and I was matched with, as a befriender. So I was matched with a family. I watched the first part back, and I've got all these other things I want to add now, but I've got to look at my notes, I'm afraid. But continuing with what I was saying before about allowing kids to express themselves, to deal with emotions and not hiding things from them. When they go out into the world, they'll be much more comfortable in their own skin. If you make them bad for having emotions, good and bad kind of thing, don't get too excited and you mustn't cry and mustn't get angry and stuff, then that messes them up. But if you show your own emotion and it's not such a big deal, you see it's a natural thing, which it is, and allow kids to express themselves as they are, and then the feeling passes. The problems in life, all the pain is caused by holding everything in. Pushing stuff down, being repressed, told you can't be yourself, you can't. Being yourself encompasses expressing your emotions, because life is emotional. It's essential. All this stiff upper lip stuff from the bloody 60s, is still rife, isn't it? Especially in the UK and America, in the West in general. Other countries are better. European countries are much better. They don't squash themselves down all the time. Like European countries, they'll argue quite fiercely about things, but it's no big deal. They're still friends at the end of it. It's just natural to argue a point and stuff. And in France, like went to Paris, they're all double parked and stuff, and people just have to sit there and wait. But people can rage at each other, and it's okay. They're all honking, because everyone gets angry behind the wheel of a car for some reason. And it's accepted that they can shout at each other and stuff and be aggressive. I don't know about the aggressive part, but, people express. Oh, yeah, we went on a beach, we were beside a lake, and a girl came and sat down. She was naked at the top, topless. And then she started picking her nose, just leaning against the wall and picking her nose sort of thing. It's just natural, Oh dear, what we like here. Farting probably is much more, accepted there as well, in other countries. The natural, the way people are. When I went to India as well, they're so loving. Everyone was so loving. And like we saw them going along on a bike and they fell off. It wasn't a serious accident. It was just like, oh no, they just fell off, and the girl, she was like looking all worried, and they were immediately nice. Oh, are you okay and stuff. It was loving. It's loving. They accept that people do get scared, and they kind of pander to the natural emotions that people have. It's just natural kind of thing. Like, here it's like, oh, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I mean, I used to walk up steps on a bus. And, they used to have the metal edges on them. They had the old-fashioned buses where, the ones you can run and jump on. I used to love doing that. I go up the steps, the round steps up to the top. And it's all different now, isn't it? Although they kind of go like that. And they used to have metal edges, and I used to bash my shin. And I remember the day that I thought to myself, I always hold it in. I was trained from birth to hold everything in, I never would say ouch or rub it or just always try and hold it, pretend it hadn't happened. That's how we're trained, and that's the worst way to be, because you're not comfortable in your own skin. Life is very overwhelming. If everything that happens to you, you've got to hold it in. You mustn't talk to other people. You mustn't be yourself. You mustn't express. You mustn't cry. You mustn't. Even in my household, we weren't allowed to get too excited and laugh and be happy and joyful, which I naturally am, Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that hot topic of mine, God, I feel so strongly about it because what happened to me, Anyway, oh yeah, the other thing I didn't mention was some people in the comments said, as a 2-year-old, she's got a nappy on, she's pooping into it, and she's taking it out. And maybe she's uncomfortable. She has to sit in the nappy. Maybe this is overnight, and she has to wait till the parents come to change the nappy in the morning or whatever. Maybe that's her way of expressing that she's uncomfortable sitting in the poo, sort of thing. Maybe, and they're saying it's time to potty train her, kind of thing. It's extra work for the parents, but it has to happen at a certain age. It's time. Maybe that's what she's showing them. So it makes sense, doesn't it? Maybe she's more advanced because she's very. The kids seem very advanced. When they were interviewing Amelia at 2 years old, so cute, but so intelligent. It's like, so able to communicate and say stuff. It was brilliant. So she might be an advanced kid, and need potty training earlier than most kids do. And being only 2 and not able to communicate at that age, they can't say, can they, what's going on? So that's her way of saying stuff or trying stuff out. Does this work? Taking it out, or she's just exploring poop. To her, it's just another thing to explore. Yeah, it's not dirty and unless the parents have told them that it's dirty and stuff. On to the real life example where I did the volunteering and I was matched with a family. The other thing that kids need to know, apart from that they're loved, is that and this world is a safe place. It's that everything's going to be okay, sort of thing. It's like that's a parent's job to take the kids, and cuddle them and say everything's going to be okay. We'll work this out. It's not to hide problems from them or to work everything out for them. It's to say we'll work it out. It's not a big deal. Everything's figure-outable, as Marie Forleo says. We'll overcome this together. You know what I mean? That's one of my things. Go forward. We can do this. But I understand that a lot of people don't feel everything is going to be okay. God, yeah, totally get that. And so it's hard to do it to the kid. But you do know, you know more than the kid does. The world is a safer place for you than it is for the kid. So you've got more resources and knowledge and things always do work out, You've got that experience of life. So I know it don't seem like it. Like my mum got cancer and she died, so it didn't work out. But, things do work out, I'm master at getting off topic, talking about my mum getting cancer and dying. That wasn't on the script. I better stick to the script, yeah. Anyway, I've got such an itchy nose. This family, it's a woman and her 3 kids, and at the time I think only the youngest daughter was at home. Yeah, we hit it off immediately. Me and the mum, she had anxiety and depression and Crohn's disease, poor girl, and I had anxiety and depression my whole life as well. So. And we were just so friendly with it. It was just so nice and completely non-judgmental. Both on a similar wavelength where that's concerned. And when we talked, we had similar mums. That mum's attitude towards the child. Very different dads, but similar mums. So I think mum does most of the caregiving. Especially back in the 60s. So it has a huge effect. So after a while of visiting, I used to visit once a week just for 2 hours, and that's why I did that volunteering, because I felt I could cope with that. It's just 2 hours a week. That's it, because I can find personal interaction exhausting because of my fears and stuff. I'm not inside my body. I'm not breathing, and I'm focusing. Yeah, I'm not focusing on them and what they're saying. So it makes it difficult for me. So. After 2 hour interaction, I can go away and recoup, sort of thing. I move away from that person and I can go home, sort of thing. So I was able to do that. When you volunteer, you do get it back 100-fold. It really did me so much good to be useful to a family, And only the youngest daughter was at home. And after, we got used to each other and stuff, one day I came in and the daughter was completely curled up in a fetal position on the sofa. My whole heart went out to her, Actually, most of the time I was just with mum. I didn't meet the daughters till later, gradually I met the kids over time. But anyway, the youngest daughter was curled up on the sofa, like can't cope, you didn't want to speak to anyone and stuff, totally 100% related to that. And, as soon as I saw her, I loved her immediately. Softness and sensitivity, I think, is what the connection there. And being a child and being scared, oh my God, that was me. That was definitely me. Anyway, what's I going to say? Yeah, so feeling everything's too much, you just can't, sort of thing. Anyway, one day I was able to talk with the daughter and the mum. We were sitting down at a table in the kitchen, and this feeling was just right to sort of come out and say this. And I said to the mum, that because the daughter had problems all her life, kind of thing, I suppose. That all Anna wants. Oh, I was going to say a name. Oh, it doesn't matter. All Anna wants is to be hugged and reassured that everything's going to be okay, something like that, along those terms, just very minimal, keeping it light sort of thing. And Anna looked at me, and then looked at her mum to see what the response was, sort of thing. Or she didn't look at her mum, she daren't, because that kind of thing wasn't discussed, And the mum kind of wriggled out of it, I think. The conversation was okay, it wasn't a big deal or anything. And later on, I don't know if it was the same day or another visit, standing at the sink with the mum, I remember her saying to me, I can't give Anna that. I can't do that. And it really surprised me. She's the loveliest person, the mum. Loveliest person. She always puts other people ahead of herself, even though she's really ill. She always says, how are you? How are you doing? She always inquire about you and try and talk about you rather than herself. She's always trying to help people and stuff, such a lovely person, but she wasn't able to do that with her own daughter, reassure her and give her that love, and I can't remember what she said, but there was resentment there. There was she felt, there was a conflict between her and her daughter. She felt resentment towards her. Amazing, it absolutely amazed me. But it's not surprising though, because of what happened to her, she's projecting it onto the children, and she can't help that. She's probably not well versed in all this stuff, didn't know anything about all this stuff either, the emotional side of things. Because nobody talks about it, especially because she's the same age as me. She might be a bit younger, but, born in the 60s, nobody talks about the emotional side of things, let alone what kids need growing up to do the emotional side of things. So, I was really amazed by that. So that was it, but it's I'm right, that Anna was showing me, that's all kids need, is to be hugged and reassured everything's going to be okay. And her mum wasn't able to be nice to her in that way, very surprising. Okay, so what to do when you've got a naughty kid and you don't want to give it physical punishment? So stop it, and whack it around the head and stuff. Well, I used to watch Supernanny when I had a TV, but I know it's available on the internet as well. You can go and watch episodes of that. That'll tell you what to do. And I remember there's a naughty step, isn't there? I mean, I haven't studied this stuff at all, but I remember watching this program. I'd love to do that, go into families and sort them out, get them to love each other, do their numerology. This daughter's on a 4 life path. She's going to be like this. You're on this life path. So those two are going to conflict. So, but there's nothing wrong with her. She's just doing what she's supposed to do, and you know what I mean. Sort of get everyone to understand each other, why they're behaving the way they are, and love each other. Oh. But yeah, the naughty step. The idea is that you withdraw attention from the child, because children love attention, and they need you because they don't have anyone else to look after them. And put them on a naughty step. You do it in a way, and not in a horrible, nasty way. You tell them what's wrong, and still love them. But put them on the naughty step and withdraw attention for a while. I don't know how long, but I don't know the details of that. But that's the principle. That's the punishment, and that is devastating. If you hit a child and shove it, and it's crying, shove it in a room, and don't let it come out, or whatever. Send it to bed, naughty girl, you told it, you've abandoned it emotionally, completely. If you're horrible to a child, you've abandoned it emotionally. I mean, I know for myself, one of my worst, I think I've talked about this, in my dream of dying. one. But I'm going off the edge of a cliff. And the worst thing about it, I mean, it's bad enough the thought of the physical pain and torture and stuff. But the worst thing was the emotional abandonment. That's worse. It's like kids can handle physical things happening to them if they're loved, you know. It's not, they can handle so much. They can handle, you know, we're very resilient, you know, intelligent beings and stuff. We can handle what happens out there in the world if we're loved inside, you know. That's why if you weren't loved by your parents in the way you want to be, self-love is the way to go, kind of thing. Reassure yourself, you know. Don't be hard on yourself. Actually, when I watched my video, first part back, at the end I was saying about don't, you know, be hard on yourself. I can't remember what I said exactly, but it made me cry, just briefly, you know, because I'm hard on myself, you know. Obviously, when you leave it a long time with the kids behaving badly and you give in to them and you don't know how to control them and you've set up this horrible relationship between you, you know, it takes time. And I remember I might have only watched a couple of these Supernanny episodes, but this girl, they were trying to, oh yeah, she'd always get up in the night and yeah, she'd always do that. So Supernanny was saying, right, she was trying to instruct the mum what to do and not take over kind of thing, but the mum had to keep just with a neutral tone, neutral stance, no anger or anything like that. Grab the child, physically put her back into bed, shut the door. Don't actually lock them in. It's tempting to do that. I think she may have had to hold the door because it just got ridiculous the number of times she had to take the child, put her back into bed, take the child, put her back into bed. You've just got to train them that getting up in the night is not acceptable. I'm going to physically grab you, put you back in the bed, not hurt you, you know, and withdraw attention. That's it. It's a simple process. You just show the child what you want, do it in a loving way, you know, not happy, not sad, but, you know, you go neutral to withdraw attention from the child, you know. It's not completely cruelly not looking at them, or, you know. I mean, I remember on a qual course I went on, Quality of Life, a woman talking about her mum could go ice cold and just completely as if she didn't exist, you know, the daughter kind of thing, ask her for things or whatever. And that's really damaging to a child because you're not there. You're not there. Suddenly you don't exist. I mean, I've had dreams of going back to my house. My parents have moved. You know, that's the same thing. That's probably come from the withdrawal of of the love. You know, complete withdrawal of love. You know, love is really important all the time. You know, if you can. I know if you don't love yourself, you know, you've got to work on that. But yeah, we're not perfect, are we? So don't give up hope. Go and learn this stuff. There's tons of it on the internet. There's episodes of Supernanny. You know, it's much more enjoyable, isn't it? You know, seeing someone go into a family. Joe Frost, I think her name is, go and sort a family out. I'd love to do that. Oh, I don't know how I'd do it. But the fact that I've never studied child development or anything like that shows it's not my purpose, because I would have studied it by now, wouldn't I? It's just part of what I know and what I love to teach other people, and I like doing it just in this format. Without going too deeply, I think I'm meant to know about a lot of things, like to this level sort of thing, not go into one thing, because I've always wanted to do this newsletter, you see. And you need to, if you're going to publish a thing, you know, on self-development, you need to know a lot about a lot of different things, you know, and pass on the information and let people run with what they want to pick up, what they want to run with, kind of thing, rather than you telling them, this is the method you must use, this is, because this worked for me or whatever, this is the most effective method. You've got to present all different ideas to people so that they can pick the one that resonates with them, that's right for them, you know. You can change people's lives doing that. Go learn yourself, you know, how to treat kids. There's loads of information out there. There's books on it, you know, TV programs, people make videos about it. Much more enjoyable to learn these days. Don't be hard on yourself. Got to love yourself, yeah? Love your kids, love each other, you know. I'm going to start doing numerology series and talk about famous people and their numerology, and especially compatibility with their partners. That would be so much fun to show people, you know, that's why they don't get on and stuff. You know, there's a reason why that person doesn't want kids. It's not because they're selfish and nasty, like Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Oh, everyone was heartbroken, weren't they? they split up, but there's a reason for it, because he's a 4 life path and he wants kids, and she's an Aquarian, and there's no way they want to be tied down with kids. So, fact, end of story. Anyway, I'm ending it now, 20 minutes. I love myself. I've already said goodbye, haven't I, once? Yeah, go off, love yourself, and have a great day. Go get what you want, yeah? Bye.